Yeah. Testing. Okay, we got sound today. So we had some technical difficulties this weekend, but we got sound today. Welcome back to the Silent Conversations podcast. It's your brother, Mr. West, tapping in with you. We're a little on a different schedule today is because we're going to make sure that we honor our commitments. We want to make sure that our word is bond. So I'm not going to leave you without an episode. We're not going to just because something goes wrong, just because we have a couple technical difficulties where we lost audio, even though we were speaking and striving to be able to deliver an inspirational message on Saturday, but the audio was gone. So you was able to see me, but you couldn't hear me. So uh, all praises due to Allah. We are in working condition. I see the volume working. It's just another opportunity to learn and strive to do better and be able to see, okay, what improvements need to be made. Okay, so we just got to be more on point. So welcome back to the Silent Conversations podcast. Again, this is your brother, Mr. West, tapping in with you as always. Catch every episode that we do. Catch all the past episodes. All of the audio experience of this particular podcast will be updated by this week. So you'll be able to watch all the episodes. We're at episode 41 today. So definitely check the previous 40 episodes that we have available on all of your streaming platforms that you check podcasts out. We should have all the way up to, I believe, episode 38 or 39 available now, but the other whatever is not showing right now will be available by the end of the week. So just stay tuned for that. I appreciate everybody tapping in, supporting, watching, streaming, reposting, whatever you may be doing to be able to support this particular podcast, like, subscribe, commenting, sharing this particular YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, I appreciate you liking, commenting as well. If you're watching on Twitter, I appreciate you retweeting and quoting and reposting the podcast as well. We're growing this thing. We relaunched it a few episodes or a few weeks ago. And we're continuing to grow and striving to improve and give as much value as possible on this platform. Again, this is the Silent Conversations podcast. This is where we talk about personal development. We talk about growing yourself. We're talking about moving from one part of your life, taking what you've learned and you experience and those setbacks, those so-called failures, those bad moments, and finding the lesson inside of those particular situations to be able to reap the blessings by being able to learn and move forward, progress, finding where our weaknesses are and turning them into strengths, finding our strengths and seeing how we can use those strengths to encourage and teach others so that they can improve on the weaknesses that they may have, and being able to become better version of ourselves. We want to inspire you and countless others that are checking this particular episode or this podcast out to be able to start and continue down your journey of self development, because that's exactly what this is. This is not something that you can do in one day. This is not something that you can grow and improve in one year. This is a lifelong journey of striving to become a better version of ourselves every day. 1% better every day is 365% better in a year. We have the biggest room in all of our lives that we can always go in and find something to tweak, and that's the room of improvement. So let's strive to do that today, just like we do with every episode. We're going to impact, and we're going to talk about something that's very important when it comes to growing. It's very important when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself, and that's consistency. We all want to be better at consistency. We all want to be a better self when it comes to business. We want to be consistent in our business. We want our income to be consistent that's coming in. We want our relationships to be consistent in ways that are beneficial and productive. We want the people in our lives to be consistent. We want our children to behave consistently, but that takes time, and it takes willingness and discipline and accountability and focus. It takes a plan. It takes a vision. We talked about vision, goals, and habits. It takes those elements of life to be able to come together and be aligned so that we can be consistent in whatever it is that we're looking for. We want our results to be consistent. So in order for our results to be consistent, our actions have to be consistent. In order for our actions to be consistent, our thoughts have to be consistent. So consistency is something that we all can work on and improve, because no one is at a position where they can say that they're as consistent as they want to be. There's always areas in life that we can be more consistent in. So we want to talk about the art of consistency. As always, this podcast is brought to you by the Silent Academy. That's my particular business where I teach and educate and advocate for those in home ownership and helping them with money management and overcoming financial hardship to protect their home from falling into foreclosure. And also, we speak on personal development, understanding what it takes to be able to grow and improve every day, regardless of what you may be going through. What you're going through is happening for you and not to you. So once we can find that lesson, we can get the blessing and we can move forward and continue progressing. I'm gonna have to tweet that one day. But yes, we're talking about consistency, and we don't want to waste any more time. Again, I appreciate everybody tapping in. We are live right now on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We live on Twitter. So I appreciate everybody tapping in to the podcast. But without further ado, let's break down consistency and why is it so important. When you think about your favorite restaurant, the reason why it's your favorite restaurant is because the food is consistent. You know, when you go and you can order your favorite meal, it's going to come out the way that you want it. It's going to taste the way that you've always had it. And that's because it's consistent. You don't go to a restaurant that you like and then you hoping and praying that your meal is going to be good. You're hoping that the service is going to be good. You continuously go to the same place to eat because it's consistent. You have a consistent result that you're getting when you go to that particular restaurant. When you think about McDonald's, McDonald's doesn't serve the best burger. McDonald's does not have the best customer service, but what they do provide to you is consistent. You know that those French fries, even though you know they may not be the best for you, they're not the healthiest place at all, by far. They're not the healthiest place to eat from, but because they're consistent, you go back every time. They're consistent with the price, and you know it's cheap. You know that is a very low cost, and you're gonna know what you're gonna get when you get it. So you're not surprised. You know that McDonald's is gonna give you that McDonald's experience. No matter where you go in the country, there's a very high chance that you're gonna get the same type of customer service. You're gonna get the same type of French fries. You're gonna get that same burger, them same chicken nuggets. They all gonna taste the same because it's consistent. When you think about sports and athletes, the ones on I'll say from basketball because I love basketball. So when it comes to basketball, the person that gets the ball the most, He's the one that's most consistent. The reason why Steph Curry has always passed the ball is because they know that he's consistent at making his shots or making a good decision. The reason why LeBron gets the ball in the last few seconds of the clock is because he's consistent. He knows what he's going to do. And everyone, his teammates, his coach, they know what he's going to do when he gets that ball because he's what? Consistent. So we too can take elements from these different areas to be able to see why consistency is so important, because we want to be able to be depended on. We want to be reliable. We want to get that trust. We want that respect that comes along being consistent. But how do you become consistent? It takes work. It takes discipline. It takes focus. It takes accountability. It takes being willing to do what you don't want to do enough times until you are consistent at it and it becomes second nature. When you are working out and you're on your fitness journey, me personally, I'm on a fitness journey. I'm striving to be able to stay at my weight that I'm at now, just continuing to improve my mobility, improve my stamina, endurance, be able to run for long periods of time, increasing my lung capacity, being able to eat better, being able to live better. So in order for me to do that, I have to be consistent at working out. I have to be consistent at getting up in the morning, stretching, which I have to continue to improve on being consistent at stretching, because I see that when I am able to stretch and I do my full stretches, I'm able to do more. I'm able to um, get my recovery after I finish running is a lot easier. So when I don't do it, in my self analysis, I realize the difference in the results that I get. So I know where that's why I need to be a little bit more consistent at is stretching before and after I run, because I know that is the benefit there. And if I continue to do it, the better I'll get, the better results that I'll receive from my effort as well. But when you think about fitness, when you're thinking about losing weight, or you're thinking about becoming stronger, when you're thinking about being a better weightlifter, me personally, I don't do a lot of weightlifting anymore. But when I was weightlifting or trying to pick up weights and do these type of things, the way that you get better is by consistently going to the gym and doing these exercises. I do push-ups every morning. So when I first started on this journey, so now it's probably been a little over a year that I've consistently put myself in a position to do at least 20 push-ups a day every morning after I wake up. And then after I realized and I analyzed myself, the first couple months, the first couple weeks of doing this and challenging myself to do so, it was a struggle to be able to get those 20 push-ups down, especially since me coming from being, overweight and unhealthy, not living the most healthy lifestyle. When you start to put yourself in a position to start doing healthy things, it's hard up front. So it's hard to be consistent. It's hard to say, you know what? I'm gonna do these 20 push-ups. Okay, well, I'm gonna find an excuse. Okay, I might do 15 or I might do 10. Who gonna know the difference? So what I had to do was make myself accountable. But you only can become accountable when you know exactly what result that you want. When you really are serious about what it is that you want, when you're really serious about the result that you want to achieve or the vision that you have for yourself that you want to bring to life, is when you can hold yourself accountable to it, because you know, if I don't do it, then I'm letting myself down. It's not about what everybody else thinks. It's not about those who are watching. But one of the ways that I held myself accountable is that I'm gonna record myself every morning doing my 20 push-ups. I know over time, day after day after day after day of me doing those push-ups, and see that will also help me to do it at certain times in the day. I realize, okay, if I haven't posted myself doing my 20 push-ups, then I know I haven't done my 20 push-ups. So that was a way that I kept myself accountable. But you have to figure out how you're going to hold yourself accountable. Everybody has their own ways and methods and know on how they're going to be able to push themselves or challenge themselves to do what they say they're going to do. But for me, I need to put myself in front of the public, put myself in front of people that don't even really know me as well. And show me putting in the work, showing me when I first started doing the push-ups, the arm shaking and not having the best footing or the best balance when it comes to doing the push-ups. But then over time, months go by, weeks and weeks and weeks go by, you start to see, okay, now the reps getting faster. Now you're able to switch up your stance, you're able to switch up your technique and be able to do push-ups. Okay, now you're doing the short push-ups, you're doing them slower, now you're doing with a more controlled manner as well. So all of these things come after being consistent. You don't do that just freestyling it. Well, I'm gonna do 20 push-ups a day, or I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do 20 diamond push-ups, or I'm gonna do 20 wide stance push-ups and all this kind of thing. You're not gonna be able to just do that on a consistent basis if you don't have a foundation to stand on. If you haven't been putting in the reps every day, then you're putting yourself in a position to fail. You're putting yourself in a position to give up on yourself because you haven't laid the basis that this is my routine. This is something that I'm going to do. So when I think about consistency, like I said, the three elements of consistency that I like to look at when it comes to how to be consistent is focus, accountability, and discipline. When it comes to focus, you have to have a clear vision and plan and know what you want and why you want it. You got to be able to get focused. You got to have some type of focus that's going to help you stay on track. Know where you're trying to go. Know what you're trying to do. Know what you're trying to achieve in life. Because if you don't, then you're just freestyling. You're now leaving yourself open to anything happening. You may look at something on Instagram or on social media, on YouTube, and then that's going to inspire you. Now you're going to change off track and you're going to start doing that. Or you may be watching somebody that has some inspirational words or inspirational story, and then now that's going to influence you to start doing this now. Or someone sees something, you see someone else that you know, they start working out and they say, come to the gym with me, and they have a whole different workout style. So now you didn't got away from your whole fitness journey of what you were trying to achieve, and now you're following behind somebody else and their goals. It's because you don't have a vision or a plan for yourself. So these type of things are very important when it comes to being consistent, because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know exactly what it is that you want to get out of the work and the effort that you're going to put in, you're leaving yourself open to be influenced in any direction. Wherever the wind may blow you, you're going to end up being there, and that's not going to get you the results you want. You're going to get random results because you're doing random things with random effort, with a random thought pattern, with no plan, nothing that's going to keep you on track. When it comes to accountability, you want to have checks and balances in places going to keep you on track. How are you going to hold yourself accountable? Are you going to tell somebody close to you that you know has your best interests at heart that, okay, I'm going to be going to run every morning, and when anytime you see me slacking or don't see me going out to run, I need you to check me. Or also you can look at it where there has to be a consequence there for when I don't do what I say I'm going to do. Because if you don't, then you can leave yourself open to letting any excuse come up that's going to stop you from your progress. So for me, let's take, for example, this podcast. I could have said, okay, well, I had some technical difficulties on Saturday, wasn't able to do the podcast. I had to do some troubleshooting on Sunday to figure out what was causing the audio issue as well. And I can say, you know what, I can just wait till next week. I don't have a lot of people watching the podcast right now, so who's really going to miss it? But at the end of the day, I know that I said I was going to be consistent every week, dropping at least one episode every week. So if that's the case, then I got to do it. I have to figure out, let me carve out some time. Let me make the time so that I can go ahead and shoot the podcast episode. Just take it as a blessing and say, okay, let me do a little bit more research. Let me get my thoughts together a little bit better, so that once I know that everything is working and all systems are go, the sound is working, the video is working, now I'm going to show up and make sure I put that episode out. But I'm also going to look at what went wrong, and I'm going to see, okay, I was putting myself in a position for me going live. I'm putting myself in a position that if something goes wrong, it can throw me off the entire map as far as what I'm trying to do. So now I look at it, okay, I can still go live and shoot episodes, but I also should have some episodes in the cut that I've pre-recorded. So if there's any issues with a live episode, I can still fill in the gaps and just upload an episode that I already have ready that's still in line with what we're doing, make a few adjustments, and I can continue to produce at a consistent rate. So these are things that you have to be willing to do, especially when you're talking about self development. You can't wait on somebody else to tell you what you should do. You need to look at yourself. You need to look at the results that are being produced. You need to look at what is happening, what's not happening. Do I like the progress that I'm making? Do I not like the progress I'm making? What improvements can I make? And you tell yourself what you need to do. Self development, self improvement, self analysis, self examination. These all have to start with you. And if you're leaving yourself open to other people and what they have going on, they can only tell you what they see from the outside, but you are with yourself every day. So if you with yourself every day, you know when you're slacking, you know when you have more in the tank that you can give, you know when you can execute at a higher level. Other people aren't going to know that. They only are going to look at your track record. And if you're at the very beginning, they have very little to work with. So they can only give you things to work on, or they can give you their point of view. But ultimately, you know what you want. You're the one that wants the result. So if you are the one that wants the result, you know what you have inside of you that you're trying to bring out, then you need to hold yourself accountable and you need to make the adjustments in order to bring it to life. So we want to think about that. And that's what comes down to discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is doing what's required even when you don't feel like it. Doing what's required, doing what's necessary, even when what's necessary is uncomfortable. Even when you don't want to do it. You don't want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning and pray and read the Quran or read a book or be able to listen to something motivating, do your push-ups, go running, go to the gym. It's too cold outside. It's raining outside. It's hot outside. It's real windy outside. Oh, you forgot to wash certain clothes, so now you got to wear the workout clothes that you don't like to wear. But are you gonna let that stop you from moving forward, from being consistent? Are you gonna let yourself down? No, you're not. You're gonna pick yourself up. You're gonna do what's required so that you can get what you say you want. Even though you don't feel comfortable about it, even though you may not have got as much sleep as you wanted to get last night, that still doesn't mean that today is a new day. You were blessed to see this new day. Let's take advantage of this new day and let's move forward. So I want to now go into a couple elements. So two reasons why um, being focused or being accountable and having discipline is important and very beneficial to you being consistent. So, one is long term success and sustainability. Focus helps you to zero in on your goals and eliminate distractions, making your efforts more efficient. Accountability ensures that you remain answerable for your actions, promoting responsibility. Discipline enables you to adhere to your plans and routines consistently. Together, these qualities create a framework that supports long term success, sustainability, helping you reach and maintain your objectives over time. Now, that's something that we need to pay attention to, because just because you go to the gym 5 times a week does not mean that you're going to wake up tomorrow and your arms going to be swollen up and you're going to have that six pack that you're looking for. Is what you do consistently over time that's going to get you the results that you want. Many of us have this instant gratification, this microwave mentality. We think that just because we didn't put some work in for a few weeks that we're going to get the result that we're looking for, when more than likely you're going to get the result, but it's not going to come on the time that you're looking for because you haven't put in enough work. We're looking at the highlight reels of those on social media or YouTube, and we're not looking at the behind the scenes, what they have sacrificed to get the results that you're looking at. So when you talk about fitness, you see some people on YouTube, they all cut up and they showing you the 10 exercises you need to do. And you say, okay, I'm doing my 10 exercises, but yet I don't look like them. Well, some of these people behind the scenes are doing extra more than they doing those 10 exercises that they're showing you. They're showing you just the basics of what you need to do, but then there's more that goes into it. There's a diet that goes into this. There's sacrifice that goes into this. There's time that you need to put in. You got to make sure you're getting the right recovery, making sure that you're stretching. Certain nutrients need to be put in your body. Then you have some people that are cheating the process and they're doing certain steroids. They're cutting certain things out of their life, or straining or stressing their body certain ways that make them look a certain way. And you like, why don't I look like them? Well, you're not them, for one. And then two, you haven't given yourself enough time. Some of these people have been training for 10, 15, 20 years. You just started this year and you're wondering why you don't look like them. Well, you don't know what they did. But if you consistently stick to a plan, if you consistently stay on track on what you see is starting to work for you, eventually you will get to that desired look that you're looking for you. But that's the key. This is self development. It's about you. You can get inspiration from other people. You can get ideas from other people. You can get training and coaching from other people. But ultimately, you are the one that is getting the result. You're the one that's putting the work in. You're the one that's doing what's required to get what you want out of life. So we don't want to forget that part of the process. This is a journey that we're on. This is not about reaching a destination in a quick amount of time. We want to make sure that we can sustain this level of success. We want to make sure that we're doing things that's going to help us get to the end, not just make it there quickly, but get there and be able to stay there. So long-term success and sustainability. Another reason why focus, accountability, and discipline is important is because it helps us make effective decisions. So, effective decision making and resource allocation. So, being focused allows you to make better decisions aligned with your goals, helping you prioritize tasks and yield the highest returns. Accountability ensures that you regularly track your progress, allowing you to reallocate resources effectively when needed. Discipline ensures that you stick to your commitments and schedules, further optimizing resource allocation. In combination, these qualities fine tune your decision making skills, ensuring that your time, energy, and resources are utilized most effectively. So, when you think about traveling, right? So, you put something on the GPS and you want to make it to a certain destination. That GPS is going to give you the most effective and efficient manner to be able to get to your destination. When you think back in the day when you had MapQuest, it used to tell you a course of action that you would need to take to get to your destination, but it didn't account for those things, those roadblocks that may be there that wasn't there before you printed off the directions. It didn't take into account the traffic. It didn't take into account all of the setbacks that may be along the road that the computer wasn't aware of at the time. So you may be on your road to a destination, but then you're taking detours and you have traffic that's holding you up. So you may see that, oh, it's going to take you an hour and a half to get here. But yeah, that's based off of perfect conditions. But if you're focused, you're accountable, you have discipline, you're able to then make the right decisions at the right time so that you can make the right adjustments so that you can get to your desired location, your desired destination in life as well. So the same thing goes in every aspect of life. If you're willing to put yourself in a position to be focused, if you're willing to hold yourself accountable, if you're willing to discipline yourself, you can then handle those setbacks. You can handle those so-called failures. You can handle those detours that you may have to make along the way to your destination because you understand where you're going. You understand that there's an end goal, there's a reason behind all of this, and that you'll get to the desired destination that you want. So, by integrating focus, accountability, and discipline into your practices, you set the stage for consistent actions and results. These traits are particularly beneficial when aiming to educate people about the intricacies of personal growth. So when you understand that, when you're trying to show somebody how to be consistent based off of what you do, is going to then make it that much easier to convey what consistency is and why it's so important to be consistent, right? So let's break down how or what ways we can actually master the art of consistency, right? Because the goal here is we want to be as consistent as possible. So we want to set clear goals. Knowing exactly what you aim to achieve will provide you with the roadmap. That goes back to traveling again. When you know where you want to go, it's easier to know what steps you need to take to get there. Once you have your vision, you know what goals you need to set, you know what habits you need to put in place and be able to repeat in order to hit those goals to bring that vision to life. So, knowing exactly what you aim to achieve will provide you with the roadmap. Break down larger objectives into smaller, manageable milestones to maintain focus and motivation. Number two, establish routines and habits. Consistency often begins with establishing a daily or weekly routine. Identify positive habits that align with your goals and integrate them into your schedule. Over time, these will become second nature. That's something that I want to keep putting emphasis on, is that consistency does not mean instant gratification. Consistency promotes growth and results over time. It's sustainable. It's about receiving successful results over time. And consistency is how you get there because you're willing to put yourself through the process to achieve success. Success is not something that you just pick up. You can't just go buy success. Success is achieved through results. Success is achieved through taking action. And if you're not willing to consistently put into action, you're not going to receive consistent success when it comes to life. Number three, regular tracking and accountability. Keep tabs on your progress through journals, apps, and even a trusted friend who can serve as an accountability partner. Periodic self assessment helps you adjust your strategies and keeps you on the right path. Now, this particular segment is speaking about having an accountability partner, putting apps and journals in place, and this is great. Me personally, I haven't had the best success with having a accountability partner, but that's a part on me as well. Because if you're not in a mind frame to be willing to take correction, then having a self accountability partner or having someone that's going to keep you accountable is going to not really work. It's not really going to work for you because you're not willing to take the check. When someone is you putting someone there to check you when you're wrong or check you when you're not on track and you're not willing to receive that correction, then they really can't help you. They can't help you be accountable because you have ego in your way, you have pride in your way, you have your own self in your way that they can't help you be self accountable. So you want to make sure that you do that. You can have all the apps in the world, you can write stuff in the journal, but who's checking your journal? You gotta think about that. Excuse me. Number four, prioritize and eliminate distractions. Identify the activities or distractions that deter you from your objectives and minimize them. Prioritize tasks based on their impact towards your goals and tackle the high impact tasks first. So, I've read a book called The One Thing. And the basis of that book is, what is that one thing that you can do today that's going to make your tomorrow that much easier? What is that one thing that you can do today that's going to help you get closer to your goal versus doing a whole bunch of other things and a whole number or list of things that you're doing that's really not going to get you progress? It's about making things as simple as possible. And being simple or having a minimalistic view of what you can do to be able to achieve progress does not mean doing something easy. It's being focused on one thing that's going to give you the most impact first. Once you accomplish that, then you go to the next task. But it's not about trying to give 10% here, 10% there, 10% there. And ultimately, you're not going to get 100% of the result that you want because you're not giving 100% effort to that one task at a time. You're trying to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So you're going to get a little bit of progress there and a little bit of progress there, but you're not able to really get momentum because you haven't really focused on a task that's going to get you the progress that you need. So when you want to be consistent, you have to really minimalize what it is that you need to do. What one goal can you accomplish today that's going to put you further down this path of success? What is that one habit that you need to change right now that's going to help you reach that goal, that's going to help you bring that vision to life? These type of ways of thinking is what's going to help you take this big vision that you have and micro or minimize what it is that you need to do so that you can actually achieve it. But they say you don't eat an elephant all in one bite. All in one bite. You got to take pieces and pieces of that at a time, and eventually you'll eat the whole elephant. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go eat an elephant, but you know what I mean. So, lastly, number five, self compassion and adaptability. Now, this might be need to be number one because we talked about forgiving yourself. But let's see here. There will be setbacks. It's part of the journey. Rather than being overly harsh on yourself, learn from your mistakes. Being adaptable allows you to recalibrate your strategies without losing sight of your end goals. Be patient with yourself. You don't need to get the six pack tomorrow. To be honest with you, when you think about any version of success, you need to be ready for that success. So when you talk about finances, we all want to have millions of dollars, right? But if you got the millions of dollars tomorrow, would you know what to do with it? People play around with that question. Well, if you won the jackpot, what would you do with the money? Oh, I would do X, Y, and Z. But if you actually got the money, would you do X, Y, and Z? Would you pay off all those bills? Would you get your friend or your family out of debt and do all this? Or would you blow the majority of it because you've never had that amount of money and you had no plan for that money? So this is something that we want to think about. Be patient with yourself. When things don't go as planned, just make the adjustment. Learn from what didn't go right so that you can do right the next time. Learn from what went wrong so that you can help the next person that might bump their head the same way, and you can share your experience with them, your lessons learned with them, and they can improve and you both can move forward in life. So it's about learning. It's about moving forward. As you see on the on the sweatshirt, think, learn, grow. If you're thinking, you can find an opportunity to learn. If you're learning, you're creating an opportunity to grow, and anything not growing is dying. So just understand that there's a process that goes into everything that you do in life, a process. And if you consistently submit to the process, you will get to the eventual goal. You'll reach that level of success that you're looking for. You'll complete more goals, you'll change more habits, and you'll bring to life the vision that you have for yourself. When you think about a tree, the biggest tree on the planet starts off as a very small seed. When you think about an oak tree, you have a very small seed that you have, and it takes time for that to grow. But you don't plant that small seed and then water it one day and think that tomorrow when you wake up, it's going to be this real big oak tree. When trees fall down or they cut trees, you see all of those rings inside of that tree. That's those, it took years to develop and expand itself to get to that point. You have some trees that have hundreds of thousands of rings in them. That means it's been in existence for hundreds and thousands of years, not days, years. So you got to understand that your life is like a tree as well. You plant the seed. You have that idea, you have that vision that you want to bring to life. So you plant that seed and you water it with your goals that you put in. You nurture it with the habits that you do every day. That over time, as you continue to nurture that seed, water that seed, allow it to be able to get affected and get that energy from the sun of faith and belief in yourself, and having positive thinking and using the right words and having the right thoughts, taking the right actions, it will grow and blossom into a strong tree that is deeply rooted in your vision for yourself, and you'll bring it to life. But you got to be willing to put yourself through that. You have to be willing to be patient with yourself and patient with the process, and be at peace with the fact that, yes, this may not turn out to be what I want it to be tomorrow. But if I keep doing what I'm doing today and keep striving to improve on my efforts, improve on my actions, continue to think the right thoughts and do the right things, it will come to existence. But you have to believe it first. So I just wanted to break down the elements of being consistent, the art of consistency. Like I said, everything that you like in life, everything that you desire to have in life, the reason why you like it is because it's consistent. That TV show that you like to watch, the reason why you keep watching that TV show is because it's consistent. The reason why you go to that restaurant that you love to go and you get your favorite meal is because you know what you're going to get when you get there. The reason why you like that certain basketball player, football player, a baseball player, whatever athlete it is, the reason why you put your money on it is because you know that they're consistent. You can depend on the result that you're going to get. There's a high chance that Steph Curry is going to hit that three when you pass him that ball and he open. It's like a 90 something percent chance it's going to go in. So you know that because he's consistent, and he can only get to that position where you can feel like that type of dependency, or that type of being reliable on his jump shot, is because he consistently works on that jump shot every day, all day in the gym. So consistency is something that we all can strive to improve on. Consistency is something we all can get better at, and something that we all want to master, but we can't master it if we keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. We have to put the work in. We have to be willing to submit to the process. And as we just ended off with, be patient with yourself. Setbacks are a part of the process. Mistakes are a part of the journey. So if you're not willing to make any mistakes, then you're not willing to learn. Everyone starts as a novice. Everyone starts as a rookie. Everyone starts as a person that is unaware of what's going to happen next. But if you don't put yourself in the room or in the realm of not knowing so that you can know and ask questions and bump your head, then you're not going to get to a point where you can grow past that. You're going to constantly be in a position of ignorance. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to be ignorant to everything all the time. Once you're aware of what you don't know, it's about seeking and finding out what it is that you need to know so that you can do better. Like I said, if you knew better, you do better. But if you're not willing to get the understanding, if you're not willing to seek out that knowledge, then you're always going to make the same results. So I appreciate you all tapping in. Like I said, we strive to have these episodes every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share wherever you checking this out. I appreciate the like. I see somebody came through and liked the podcast. Definitely share this out with individuals that you feel can use this type of inspiration and value. Our goal is to inspire you and countless others to start and continue down their journey of self-development. This episode is brought to you by my book, The Three P's, The Keys to Having Better Days. This is a mindset shift book to help you see how peace, positivity, and perspective can help you start and continue down your journey of self-development and take any day. Though it may feel bad, it's just a bad moment that you're focusing on too long, and turn it into a good day and take any good day and make it better. It's your brother, Mr. West. And until next time, I'll see you again on the Silent Conversations podcast. Peace.